So much. We are now in the first full week of phase 2 of reopening North Carolina as the coronavirus pandemic continues. Many people can go back to work, get a haircut, and even worship indoors. Last weekend, a federal lawsuit permitted North Carolina religious groups the ability to gather in groups larger than 10. After President Trump ordered all churches to reopen and the CDC released new social distancing recommendations for religious gatherings, churches like Mount Olive and Winston-Salem opened its doors today. First, people had to undergo a health survey, get a temperature check, and wear a mask. Only a limited amount of people were allowed inside. Here's what one church member had to say to those who might still be a little bit nervous about worshiping inside.
During this time, you have to be prayed up, and then you have to follow the necessary precautions. You have to follow what the CDC is saying, what the governor has in place, and we have to do all of these social distancing, washes, and practicing to keep ourselves safe.
And here are those CDC guidelines once again. They recommend houses of worship provide hand sanitizer, encourage face coverings, increase cleaning, and practice social distancing. The CDC says the final decision should be left up to those religious leaders. Well, tonight, some mixed reactions over the reopening of a Triad Speedway, which attracted huge crowds of people last night at a race. Take a look at the pictures taken at Ace Speedway in Elon, courtesy of Adam Smith with the Burlington Times News. The track held its season opener Saturday, and this all happened after Alamance County authorities said that they would not enforce the governor's executive orders on large gatherings. We spoke with the co-owner of Ace Speedway, Jason Turner. He says there were 2,500 fans at the race on Saturday. That's half of their 5,000 person capacity.
People have the right to choose where they go and what they do. As we reopen, people are trying to have a sense of normalcy. And, you know, when somebody physically buys a ticket, a general admission ticket to come to a race, they are, in a sense, saying that they want to be there and they got what they paid for.
And Turner also says they have a full slate of races planned for this Friday. He told WXII no one from the Speedway will be available for an interview this week as they'll be preparing for that upcoming race. Well, as phase 2 continues, state health officials report almost 500 new cases of COVID-19. That brings the total number of people who have tested positive in North Carolina to more than 23,000. 113 North Carolinians have died. Here in the Triad, 4,280 cases are confirmed. That's an increase of almost 100 from yesterday. But remember, many of those people have recovered. As of last Monday, DHHS estimates more than 11,000 people have recovered from COVID-19 since this pandemic started. Well, on this Memorial Day weekend, more and more Americans are not only going to church, but they're celebrating at crowded restaurants and beaches. Health officials are warning not enough people are wearing their masks or social distancing. NBC's Jennifer Johnson has the latest tonight from Washington.
As millions of Americans crowd boardwalks, bars, and beaches this Memorial Day weekend, a stark reminder of the COVID-19 pandemic. A list of 1,000 victims' names on the New York Times front page. Despite the threat, Americans are desperate to get out and celebrate this unofficial start of summer.
There is a tension between the need to contain the virus and people's desire to get out of their houses.
As Americans gather shoulder to shoulder, White House health officials warn asymptomatic people are spreading the virus.
Social distancing is absolutely critical. And if you can't social distance and you're outside, you must wear a mask.
This weekend, President Trump has ordered the reopening of all houses of worship, threatening to override any governor who tries to block his decision.
When you see that they're arresting people and they're in parking lots, in cars with windows closed, and the people are being arrested, it's a disgrace.
But already a federal appeals court has upheld California's decision to keep churches closed. Meanwhile, in hard-hit New York, more signs of life getting back to normal.
Today, all the New York professional sports leagues will be able to begin training camps. I believe that sports that can come back without having people in the stadium.
As President Trump spends a second day this weekend golfing, his Memorial Day plans to Fort McHenry in Baltimore are sparking controversy. The mayor has asked the president to reconsider as his city remains under a stay-at-home order. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
All new tonight, President Trump is restricting travel from Brazil to the United States. The proclamation bans people from entering the U.S. if they've been in the South American nation in the past 2 weeks. The new rule does not apply to trade between the two countries. The White House says the restriction is aimed at slowing the coronavirus pandemic. Johns Hopkins University says Brazil is the country with the second most cases of COVID-19. To find some local coronavirus-related resources, you can head over to our website, WXII12.com. We have a county-by-county breakdown of the cases and information about food and financial services in the area. New tonight, Winston-Salem police are investigating a pair of crashes. They happened around 7:45 this evening. Police say that a person driving a small red car crashed into a Jeep at the intersection of Ebert Street and Silas Creek Parkway. The car fled south on Ebert. Moments later, the driver hit a culvert and then overturned. Nobody was injured in either crash, and police are now seeking charges. Also new tonight, a woman faces several charges after a hit-and-run crash involving a motorcycle, this time in Lexington. It happened just last night after 9 o'clock on Cotton Grove Road near I-85. Police say 56-year-old Lisa Fisher was driving a Chevy pickup. This is when she hit a motorcycle and then left the scene. Officers found her at a restaurant nearby. The person who was struck, 21-year-old Dylan Freeman, now at Wake Forest Baptist in Winston-Salem. Also in Lexington, firefighters responded to this fire at a vacant building at the intersection of Winston Road and Beesecker Road. We understood this is the second time the fire broke out. It first started last night. No word if anybody was hurt. We'll keep you updated. Happening now, Burlington police are on the lookout for a man wanted for assault and trespassing. They're searching for this man, 28-year-old Jeremiah Wheeler. Officers responded to a domestic disturbance at an apartment on South Mebane Street around 5 o'clock this morning. A woman said Wheeler, her ex-boyfriend, broke in and assaulted 2 other people there. Officers said they saw him leaving the scene in a white mid-2000s Jeep Grand Cherokee. If you know where Jeremiah Wheeler might be, please call Burlington Police or you can call Crime Stoppers.